Good morning. It's day 10. Today promises for manga goodness and drinks plenty. A quick tip for anybody looking to visit. If you ever need to figure out how much you're actually holding, cover up the last two zeros. That's $5. You're good. We're just inside of the cafe, and already you can see why we came here. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any footage of the manga museum, but we did decide that we were going to go sightseeing a little bit. But we did find this neat little river here. We skipped across, you know, for the hell of it. The manga museum was cool. I need to buy a thesaurus when I get home. But it's built on a old elementary school, and it went out of commission after what they called, I believe they called it the Donut Age, which basically meant that the infrastructure was becoming hollow. I'll admit, I just got off of a bike, so it's a little hard for me to remember everything. But wall to wall stories of manga. It was incredible. Not just Japanese, but also American comics, Scandinavian, Swedish, you name it, it was probably there. My personal favorite was seeing Saga get recognized. They gave it an award. I'm sorry that the footage today is going to be kind of sparse, even more so than usual, but I hope to get more tonight, because we're going to something that Austin has been talking about for pretty much since before he came back. He calls it the Samurai Bar. Shishin. It's a samurai cafe bar, and I've seen a little bit of it. We've passed by a couple of times just to get our lay of the land, and it's going to be really cool to just get footage of. So, there's Austin. Boop, boop, boop. I'm 12, what can I say? This place is probably one of the best looking places we've been in all time. Don't hide, guys.
I can, I'm not hiding.
Well, it's flipped upside down.
I know. Whoop.
Rotated. You're shooting upside down. It's upside down. Even now.
Where do I need to turn?
No, it's upside down.
You're such a troll. I love you.
It's upside down.
He might love him. I hate him right now. But this place is gorgeous. While we were waiting for our meal, the hostess actually came over and handed us a sword and cherry cake and said, "Here, check this out." How cool is that?
YouTubers?
Yes, what do you think?
I got two.
Thank you. You're good.
This was just a quick.
And then you're gonna have like the.
Guys, I couldn't even wait to take a video. I had to have some of it. And I do not regret a single thing.
Since I was a child, my dream has been to create, make the peaceful world with no war, And then I went to UK and then to study peace studies, and conflict resolution, and the international politics. And at that time, I wanted to be a United Nations officer. Yeah, but I met many United Nations officers, and then most of them said it's too big and like a boutique. And then I decided not to be a United Nations officer. But I had a time, and I had to come back to Japan. So I traveled continents from Europe to Shanghai, through Iran, Pakistan, Nepal, Tibet, and Shanghai. And then during that trip, I met many poor young people or children, and then most of them said, I want to go to Japan, or I want to wake up in Japan tomorrow morning, like that. So I was very impressed by that. But when I came back to Japan, especially when I saw like busy train, like people were not like happy. So I was born here coincidentally. I'm not patriotic. I was born here in this island. So I wanted to do something related to peace from my birthplace here. So also when I across the border between Nepal and Tibet, I had to ask the travel agency to across the border by 5 jeeps. And then when I was young at that time, so I was very impressed by that the jeeps were made by Toyota. So I was impressed because actually, when I was young, I wanted to be a politician, and then also United Nations officer. But when I saw these jeeps, I saw there's a possibility of profit companies, because basically like a government people can get taxed automatically, and then they waste a lot of money. But profit companies, they have to create their own budget from the scratch, from beginning. And also they have to try not to waste money, otherwise it's not gonna be sustainable. So I thought there's a possibility of a profit companies. So after I finished my travel, I worked for a trading company in Japan, in Tokyo. Actually, when I was a BA student, my major was environmental economics. So I knew we have a very high technology like for environment, like eco-friendly cars or equipment. So I wanted to export them to the world to decrease the number of conflicts caused by oil or natural resources. But unfortunately, I had to work for Dubai in that trading company. So I felt kind of guilty. My salary was mainly from oil. But I studied, environmental economics and peace studies, but my salary, so so I quit. Then when I quit the company, I read about the social business. Social business is a kind of a hybrid, kind of mixture of like profit companies and volunteer. I mean, like making the profit with making society better. So when I read social business about Grameen Bank, that is in Bangladesh, and then Muhammad Yunus, he got the Nobel Peace Prize, and then he invented kind of a microfinance for poor people. So, and then Grameen Bank is doing a variety of social business. So I was very curious. So I went to Bangladesh and for 3 months. Then I
飲み物がないんですか？
飲み物のメニューがあっちに伝票がどっかについてある。So sorry. That's okay. Yeah, and then when I saw a variety of social business in Bangladesh, I realized that the second guy from right side, as I said, he's a father of Japanese capitalism. He actually in Japan during Edo era, like 17th century or 18th century, we had a variety of social business. So basically, Japanese merchants were doing a business for the society. So we had already social business. So I thought I wanted to come back to Japan and to study social business, or I wanted to start my business for peace in Kyoto. So I founded my own company called Universal Peace Corporation 4 years ago, and no, almost 5 years ago. So then I started this bar because there are three reasons. One of the reasons is food. Food was the first cause of war. So now the world population is increasing rapidly. So I'm very concerned in the future. Maybe we're gonna be faced up with food shortage and many conflicts, wars will happen. So I'm concerned. So, but in Japan, our food self-sufficiency level is very low. So we are importing out the food and we are exporting out the food. So I wanted to change this situation first. So in this restaurant, we are using only domestic and local foods. And the second reason is culture. Culture has a power to stop attacks, prevent war. So opposite concept is hard power is a military power. So soft power is a cultural power. So during the Second World War, the American leaders, Hiroshima was nominated for atomic bomb, but American leaders decided not to drop atomic bomb in Hiroshima because they thought if we drop atomic bomb in Hiroshima, maybe Japanese people will be very, angry or be sad because Kyoto is a kind of center of our culture. So this Kyoto's culture prevented stop attacks from the US. So this is one of the example of soft power. So I basically like traveling. So I traveled all prefectures in Japan, and then I realized that many small towns and villages, traditional cultures are vanishing now. So instead of hard power, military power, I want to protect culture for soft power. And basically, I like U.S. culture because I traveled. I drove. I drove from Los Angeles to New York by car and I came within 2 weeks. So I traveled. I went to many small towns and villages in the U.S. So I love U.S. culture. Also, I traveled to China for 1 month and I visited many small towns. I love China. So I want to protect every country's, all countries' traditional culture for, making peace. So I was born, as I said, I'm not patriotic. I was born here, coincidentally. So I wanted to start from here. So I created this place for introducing Japanese traditional cultures. So since I opened this bar, I had many traditional cultures events, like this is no dance mask. So no dancer is living behind this building.
Oh, really?
I invited him to dance here with mask, and also I invited Japanese traditional music, shamisen, or many events I had to introduce Japanese traditional cultures for. Actually, the number of university students is many in Kyoto. So I thought Kyoto is the best place to introduce Japanese traditional culture for next generation or foreign people. So I chose Kyoto to open this restaurant. And the third one is Bushido, the way of the samurai. The Bushido is also the title of the book. It was written by Nitobe Inazo. he wrote this book in English, and then also in the U.S. It was published in the U.S. And then at that time, the Theodore Roosevelt was very impressed by that book, and he distributed this book to U.S. politicians. So in that book, there's a sentence: "The ultimate idea of Bushido is peace." So when I saw that sentence, I was very curious. So I started to study about Bushido and peace, because samurai is basically warrior. So opposite, peace.
Yeah.
So I was very curious, so I started. And then I found that there is a relationship between peace and the way of samurai. For example, as I said, the second guy from left side, his name is Yamaoka Teshu. He was so strong, and he was very afraid of other samurais, by samurai. And he was so strong, but he never killed anyone, and he had never been injured by anyone. So he was a kind of ideal of samurai. So most strongest samurais, they firstly practiced sword techniques, and then after they mastered sword techniques, most of them practiced like Zen meditation. Then they got like mental strength. Then they became peaceful. So the goal of samurai is like a peaceful mind. So I thought now in Japan we're also forgetting the way of samurai. So I wanted to revive, or introduce the way of samurai, the meaning of the way of samurai for young people or foreign people. So I actually in the daytime here we are teaching Bushido here for people. So this is the third reason. So I combined it three reasons: food as a first cause of war, and the culture as a soft power, and then Bushido is peaceful philosophy. So then I created this restaurant. Sorry, so it's very long.
Oh no, no, thank you very much. Thank you. We just got out of the Samurai Bar. It was everything Austin said it would be and more. Every bit of food we had was perfection, including the burgers, which were better than what we have at home.
Okay, 8 o'clock on Thursday. We're back in.
We're coming back. That's day 10, guys. I have to say the highlight of the day is easily the Samurai Bar, without a question. If we ever get a chance, we're going back Thursday, but if you ever get a chance, if you ever find yourself in Kyoto, please look up Shishin. In Kyoto. It was a blast. You guys, I'm gonna stop talking now. Woo! Woo! A few too many sake, but hopefully we'll have a good night.